Kambo practice has become so popular so fast recently that now the biggest question I get is, how do I know who to trust? How do I choose a quality practitioner? And this is a great question because choosing your practitioner is equally as important as choosing to turn for medicines. As we're looking for these alternative methods to healing, the last thing we need is more harm. So this video is designed to help you choose your practitioner, know what to ask and what to look for. Other videos on my channel talk about what Kambo is and about other practices. This one is specifically about choosing your healer. My name is Kat Rambo. I've been a medicine woman for a long time, and I've realized that now, especially recently, as popular as these medicines have become in the modern world, it is so essential that we combine modern knowledge, like medical care, into these traditions. You know, originally in the jungle, certain concerns are not the same as they are now. You know, no one living in the jungle is on Prozac. We need to answer questions about medical care, mental health, and other things that are not related to the traditional indigenous environment. It's so important that this is why I'm making you guys this video, so you can decide how to choose a practitioner that's right for you. To help you get the whole picture, first we're going to start with 9 questions you should always ask your practitioner. And then we're going to have 4 questions which you should be asked as a potential participant. And then we have 6 other considerations to take into heart before making a final decision. Some practitioners have resources online for you to peruse their resume, as it were, and some you get to ask questions directly. Either way, all of these questions should be answered to your satisfaction. If they're not, you should be able to ask. First question you should ask your practitioner is, that's right, about their training. Just because someone went to a formal program, when there are these now, does not mean they're a good practitioner. And just because someone didn't go to a formal training doesn't mean they're not. But it is important to ask about some training. A practitioner who had one session, decided to turn around and serve, and this is their 3rd week, probably not your practitioner. Choose someone who has a lot of experience and has had some relationship with some type of training. Question number 2 you should ask your practitioner. What is the source of your medicine? Do you know how it is harvested? This is a touchy question. Some practitioners just buy medicines from their supplier and they don't really know. Some are very specific about where they get their medicine. It has become, as this medicine has risen in popularity, also popular to engage in practices which are unhealthy for the environment and for the frogs themselves. Because it does come from an animal, it is important to treat these animals with respect. This is for 2 reasons. One, this is about natural healing. We're part of this earth system, creating more damage to the environment and causing suffering of another just so we can feel better is never really going to be acceptable. And 2, as the frog starts freaking out and getting stressed, they produce more of these poisons, which means you get more medicine, but the medicine is also infused with fear. This is not, in my experience, the highest quality of medicine, and practitioners who are very picky about their medicines will also tell you the story of how they came to you. I know that I tell my clients exactly where my medicine comes from. I know that it's expensive. I know that it's worth it. So ask this question and see what it is that your practitioner has in form of a relationship with the medicine that they're working with. Remember that medicine work is a relationship. So ask this question and see what you hear. Question number 3 that you should always ask your practitioner in any medicine setting, which is, what is your medical emergency procedure? There are problems and conditions that we treat with Kambo which also have their own issues, and those issues need to be addressed by proper medical care. Sometimes stuff happens and dangerous things can occur. There is actually a term now that I read recently in a medical journal called Kambo toxicity. It's become such a thing. And this journal was very interesting. This article in particular covered a lot of the extenuating factors surrounding the circumstances of the Kambo practice, which included medications, how much water they were asked to drink, like participant, all of these other types of questions, not just the amount of medicine they were given. So you have to know what to do in the event of a medical crisis. There are ways to treat allergic reactions and Kambo toxicity, and is this person willing to bring you to a hospital? And so this is an important question because in some places Kambo is illegal, though mostly that's just in Australia and I think maybe a couple places in Europe, don't quote me on that. But for the most part it is legal, but still a lot of practitioners are not willing to endanger themselves. It is so important to make sure that your practitioner already knows the answer to this question, knows what to do, what's going to happen, what the possibility is, and is willing to take care of you no matter what. Question number 4 is actually my favorite. What bad experiences have you had as a practitioner? most practitioners don't like to answer this question, but the ones that are honest and forthright with you will, one, instill trust and transparency, which is essential. And also, if a practitioner has never had a bad experience, they are inexperienced. It sounds like a good idea. Well, they've never had a bad experience. That's a good thing. It's not a good thing because one, they don't know how to respond in the event of a crisis. They've never been tested in that. Or two, they're lying to you. Or three, they just don't have the experience. It's so important to ask this question, and some practitioners will get awkward about it, but I know that I love receiving this question, and I always ask this question of other practitioners that I'm around. And you may be surprised the answers that you hear. Again, if you hear that a practitioner has never had a bad experience, this is not a good sign. Question number 5 of what to ask your practitioner may seem like an intuition question because it is. What is your experience like sharing this medicine as a practitioner? This is also a very interesting question. It causes your practitioner to think. Usually they answer questions about their process. They don't really answer questions about their process. Everyone gets into it because they love it, right? So why do they love it? What is it like for them? And what is it like for them as a practitioner? Which is a completely different story than self-practicing or receiving medicine. I love this question because the experience for me is so special. It's so beautiful and so meaningful, and I love it almost even more than receiving this medicine myself. So you'll learn a lot about your practitioner's inspirations, about their passions, and what type of healer they are. Are they very psychic? Do they have visions? What is it like? How do they know what you need? This is a great way to get to know if this practitioner feels like a good intuitive match for you. Sometimes personalities don't work necessarily, and sometimes different energies will clash, and you want to choose a practitioner that feels in alignment for you. This is a great question to find that out. Question number 6 to ask your potential practitioner. Do you have a preparation or integration process, and what is that like? This is important because a lot of practitioners are in it mostly because of the physical benefits. This is why most people turn to Kambo in the first place. So preparation and integration may or may not feel necessary to a lot of practitioners. For me in my practice, it's highly necessary, and I'm very clear about what those processes look like. They include a modicum of coaching and counseling. There's physical and mental health preparation, and there's some coaching to how to deal with the process, and as little as possible to allow you to have your own unique experience, and as much as possible to prepare you for what it's going to be like. There's not really something like this that we do in the modern Western world, so knowing what you're getting yourself into is huge and important, and knowing what to do after. Kambo is also a very emotional process. Though it is usually turned to for physical reasons, it is also emotional and spiritual, especially in my practice. So I know that integration and preparation are so important. When things start moving and the energy starts shifting, you may notice in your emotions or in your body or in your sense of self that something has changed. You need to know that you're supported in that process, and you need to know how to deal with it if it comes up. As an added note on preparation and integration, not all amazing practitioners do amazing integration, and not all amazing integration coaches are actually really good practitioners. It is okay to practice with one and then integrate with another, but do seek some type of integration. I know in my practice, I do a lot of prep and integration for other people's work, and I love it because it means that we're taking what we're doing seriously and really making the most out of our experience. Question number 7 for your practitioner may seem kind of obvious, but is it? What is your primary intention for your participants? This is how you'll know what type of energy your practitioner is going to bring into your practice, what they want you to get out of it, and how they expect you to respond and react to your experience. This is important because, again, it's an alignment question, right? There isn't really a right or a wrong answer here. It's about determining if this practitioner is right for you. Question 8 is very related. What is the most common reason clients come to you for your practice? This is also an intuition question as well as a logistics question. It will tell you what it is that your practitioner specializes in. Every practitioner specializes in something a little different, and this will tell you what their level of expertise is with what it is that you're seeking. It will also tell you what it is that they're with, because what a practitioner tends to attract is what it is that's meaningful for them, and this is how you're going to be able to connect or not, depending on what it is that you're looking for. Now, all practitioners will do a little bit of everything, but there will always be a specialty. And if you can find out what that specialty is, you may decide if this practitioner is just perfect for you or maybe not. Last question, number 9, for what you should ask your practitioner. Why do you like Kambo for you? And The first time I was asked this question, I was blown away because that's not normally what is asked of a practitioner, but it is a beautiful question because, again, it shares what the personal relationship with the medicine is, what the personal experience has been, and maybe some intuitive read on why this person then wants to share. This is going to be what your experience is going to be. So it's important to remember that whatever your practitioner is with, that's what they're going to be sharing. And the medicine is what does the work, but the practitioner is a huge part of your experience. And whether or not it's a really positive one, or really negative one, or really intense, or really gentle, or really loving, or really harsh, that's all going to be up to your practitioner. So choose what it is that matters to you most. And when you ask questions like their relationship to their medicine, then you'll learn a lot more about what it is that they're going to be offering you in the space of your practice together. Now that you have a little more insight about your practitioner themselves and how they do their work and how they may interact with you, now we have 4 questions that you should definitely be asked by your practitioner. And if your practitioner does not ask you these questions, this is an indication of a lack of clarity and concern for safety. Please be mindful that safety is important, healthcare is important, and so that's why question number 1 is, what are your health concerns? What medication are you taking? Do you have any allergies? Right? And medication can be prescriptions, it can be supplements, it can be herbs, it can be straight drugs, whatever it is. The most important part is to be honest, right? And to be asked this question, right? So this includes, again, vitamins, supplements, and herbs, things most people do not consider to be medication. Any type of substances that you're regularly consuming or have recently consumed are going to have an impact on the way that your Kambo experience flows. And if you are not asked this question, this is a problem, because these are important questions to determine if you are actually a safe candidate for this medicine. The second question you should be asked is actually sort of in alignment with the first. Do you have any mental health considerations? Diagnosed, undiagnosed, doesn't matter. How do you feel about yourself, your life, and your body? This is an important question because this is also part of what the process will be like for you. And as a practitioner, not knowing this or not asking about this seems irresponsible. If you're not asked this, please offer this information and share it with your practitioner, especially if there's a concern here. Kambo is contraindicated with certain types of psychoses, so someone with schizophrenia should not participate in sacred medicines, even one that is non-visionary like Kambo. So it's important to know this type of information, and again, if your practitioner isn't asking you this, then there's a hole in their practice. Question number 3 of questions you should be asked by your practitioner. Do you have any questions about protocol? Yes, Kambo does have a protocol. It has diet restrictions prior to engaging in practice, and these are for safety, not just for ease. So it is so important that every practitioner has their own protocol and that you should follow that practitioner's protocol. If you truly feel like that practitioner's protocol doesn't feel right or safe, that's not your practitioner, right? So follow the instructions given to you by that practitioner. There's a reason they're giving the instructions they are. And again, if you don't feel right by it, then do some research, find another practitioner, ask questions, find another counselor who knows what they're talking about. But in the meantime, if you're not asked if you have any questions about the protocol, my concern as a practitioner is that not only you have great clarity in this process, but you're also taking it seriously. And if I don't ask you if you have any questions, I don't know if you're following it. And so I ask you that question for 2 reasons. 1, to find out if you have any questions, to make sure it's all very clear. And 2, to find out, to make sure that you're actually engaging with the protocol and you intend to do so. Because as a practitioner, someone who's coming into my practice who doesn't care about the protocol, wants to follow their own routine, this is someone who's endangering themselves and me. So it's important to make sure that protocol is addressed immediately and regularly. And if there are any questions, you should ask them right away. And as a side note about protocol, if your practitioner does not have a protocol, that means no preparation instructions and no guidance on what to do and before you get there, then this is also really not a good sign. This is a sign that they either are unaware of the possible interactions of foods and drugs, or they simply don't care. Either way, this is probably not your best choice. Question number 4, our last question on questions you should be asked. A question that I love to ask my clients, I learned so much about them, is what is your intention for practice? 1, this helps me cater what I'm doing to the specific needs of my client, which is so important. That's why we come to a one-on-one specialized practice. And 2, it helps me determine that they have found the right medicine. A lot of times people will come to Kambo and they think that it's bufo or something else. There are two types of frog medicines. There's a video somewhere on my channel about that. So I like to be very clear that they realize what this medicine is and what it is they're getting themselves into, and also to determine if maybe this isn't the best medicine for them. I have actually directed clients to other medicines before, or to different types of practices, or maybe to no medicines, because what they're really looking for is not something the medicine will give them. It's something that they need to find in themselves, or it's something that another medicine may be better suited on their journey. A lot of times people will hear about these cool experiences and amazing new opportunities, and they just want to try them out. And that's cool too. I'm totally down for that. But I would like to refine a specific outcome that this client would like to achieve, because my process is about transformation, growth, and learning. And without that, I feel like it kind of doesn't really have a point. Especially with Kambo, it's a hell of a process to go through just because, well, I want to try it. And I'm not opposed to that. I'm all about experiences. But there needs to be some clarity distilled about what this purpose is for, what we're going to focus on, and how we're going to achieve your specific goals. If your practitioner does not ask you about your intention, it may be that 1, they don't care, or 2, they're too busy, or 3, they're not interested, right? So this is not really a good sign that you're not getting the committed attention to your specific intention that a quality practitioner should give you. Now, there are many times where we go to centers and the practitioner will just be in service of many people. And so this is understandable if you're not asked this question in this scenario. However, I would recommend asking yourself this question anyway. With my practice, if I do groups, they're very small, they're very focused. I do a lot of energy work, a lot of counseling, right? So my practice is a little bit more expanded than what is traditional, which is to apply your points and move on and go through it and have a good time, and then just basically some basic aftercare. So I know that my practice is a little bit different, but I do urge you that if you are going to a big center, for example, and you're not asked this question, then do ask this question for yourself, because this will be the idea through which your experience will pass and through which you'll be processing your experience as you move forward afterwards. So I would recommend asking yourself this question even if you're not asked it by your practitioner. Guess what, guys? You've almost made it through the video. We're at our last section, other considerations. These are also important, though they may not be direct questions. They're things that you should really consider when you're looking into a practitioner for your Kambo practice. The first one is open communication. You should feel like you can ask your practitioner anything and that you can tell them anything. You should feel safe, secure, comfortable, at ease, and excited. If you do not feel this way, then something is amiss. Trust your intuition. As an aside on communication, I'm not talking about your practitioner needing to be available for you for hours of endless phone calls. Most practitioners are busy with their lives, their practices, and getting better at what they do, taking other clients, and, raising their own kids or whatever else they have going on. So it's important to be mindful of their time also, but you should feel like you can reach them if you need to, and like all of your questions are being answered fully. Our second of 6 considerations we touched on lightly earlier, which is about right alignment. Find out what your practitioner specializes in. What it is about their practice that they love the most, because these are the things they're going to be sharing with you. It's also about just feeling like it's the right person. If someone's energy, vibe, or personality doesn't seem to mesh with you, then goodness knows, don't do it. Choose someone who feels like it's a good match, who you feel like you trust and connect with. Good alignment is also about choosing someone whose outcome is what your outcome is, because what it is that they're going to share with you is going to be part of your story and your process. Consideration 3, halfway there, is about lifestyle. You may or may not know this about your practitioner. However, if you go on their Instagram and their life is full of drugs and partying and hoes and dance clubs, then maybe this is not someone who is taking this part of their path seriously. Kambo and other sacred medicines are not a job, they're a life. And to be one with this life is to include a lifestyle that is not about restriction, but it is about discipline. It doesn't mean Kambo practitioners aren't allowed to drink. It means that they probably shouldn't be partying every third day. Someone whose fixation and focus appears to be not in alignment with the sacred medicine path is probably not a healer. They're probably a practitioner. If all you need is a quick in and out, then maybe this is the one for you. But if you're looking for someone to do some deep healing and inner work, maybe find someone who at least appears to be living the lifestyle that would honor a sacred medicine path. This doesn't mean this person doesn't party and doesn't have fun, but it does mean that it looks like their priorities are in alignment with the path. Consideration number 4 is focus. So if your practitioner serves every medicine ever made under creation by Mother Earth, this person probably is not specialized in the medicine that you're seeking. They do a little bit of everything and all of it okay. And this journey is amazing personally, but as a practitioner, I choose to focus specifically on the crafts which I can hone regularly and responsibly in a way that really provides the best service. And also, the medicine journey is unique in that with each medicine we work with, we become that story a little bit. So how is it that we can walk the path of a medicine when each medicine has their own voice, their own journey, and their own pathway when we're serving 10 different medicines? Now, that doesn't mean this person serves only Kambo, but it does mean that they have a focus and they're not serving just everything everywhere all the time. This belies a lack of focus and a lack of commitment to this medicine in particular. Point number 5 is a little tricky. It is reputation. Do you know someone who has practiced with this person before? If you look them up online, what do you see? Have you perused their social media and seen what other people have commented about them? Have you looked them up on other forums, maybe even Reddit, to see if this person has a bad rap? Sometimes someone may look right, sound right, do right, say the right things, wear the right feather in their hair, and they are not a quality practitioner. Unfortunately, a lack of authenticity has emerged as a staple among a lot of practitioners now. So definitely trust in the social proof of others. This doesn't mean make your final choice based on the opinions of others, but do your research and find out, does this person have a good reputation? There are only so many points of service someone can offer before you'll eventually get an idea of what it is their general practice is like. Point 6 might actually be the most important. This is intuition. Yes, yours. Even if you feel like you can't trust your intuition, know that it is there to support you nonetheless. Even the bad choices that we've made on a gut feeling have brought us to some learning that has been good for us. But trust your intuition. If someone looks the right part but just doesn't quite feel right, trust your intuition. Your intuition is the part of you that feels comfortable, calm, and confident, and clear. And without these emotions, your process itself will be fed with the discomfort and mistrust. And you really don't want that in your practice, in the medicine process, or in your life. So I would definitely recommend to trust your gut instinct no matter what. And if this last point is the only one that puts you off about someone, then trust it. Trust it definitely. It's important to be mindful of the words of others, the knowledge that comes with these things, and the environment in which this person lives their life. However, your intuition is your final safeguard towards having an amazing experience or preventing a really nasty one. So please do your due diligence. Please trust yourself. Please trust the community around you. And definitely, above all, trust yourself. Trust yourself, trust yourself. It cannot be said enough. Thank you so much for hanging out with me with this video. I hope it's been helpful for you in helping you choose the right practitioner. Kambo can be totally life-changing, amazing experience, and I want that for you. And if it is something that you're interested in exploring, then definitely make sure that you hit these points and you know what you're getting into and that it's an amazing experience. It ought to be, it can be, and it should be, and I really hope it is for you. If you're interested in prep or integration, just send me a message. If you're interested in more information, just send me a message. I love education, obviously, so I'm happy to share. Thank you guys so much for being here and for educating yourself. Congratulations on taking the time. Definitely congratulate yourself to really be the most aware, the most educated, and to give yourself the best chance at having the most awesome experience ever. Many blessings. See you soon. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. I have all this social media, Facebook group, TikTok, YouTube, website. I'll put all that in the description for you so you can reach me.